see him as far as just the starter or taking over the role. I know how it looks outside looking in, but how I see it is certain plays that we have designed where his number is called. So of course, when your number is called, you go out there and you go out there and play. So a lot of times, you see Wendell starting, and it's simply because we have his number tagged to that play.
If there's been one area where you could pinpoint where he's really excelled,
I'm sorry, you said it.
Wendell, if there's one area you could pinpoint where he's really excelled, what would it be?
He's gotten better all over. I would say that. I don't think I can pinpoint one area. As far as we trust him because, like this gentleman was just saying, we get a chance to get him out there and how it looked to you guys that he's starting, but his numbers are just called and he's taking advantage of it. We all know he's a fast running back. His hands are reliable, and he's gotten better blocking. So when you can do all three of those things, but because of what type of offense we are, you can trust him a little more and put him out there.
With JJ out and obviously LeGarrette not here this year, it looks like Josh Adams has kind of stepped into that role. What have you seen from him in these last couple of games?
Josh has really picked it up, and he's had a okay camp. When you go back, of course, he had the injury dealing with the foot. When you look at these rookies today coming into this league, with all the travel that they do pre-camp and all the travel they do before the draft, on top of an injury, when do they have time to train? It's kind of hard. So he had the injury, doing rehab, trying to get back and also get in shape. The first couple weeks there, a couple months there, he was kind of behind. So when you're not in shape in this type of offense, it hurts you. So he had a chance to come back and start taking conditioning a little more seriously, and you're starting to see what he can do.
What did you like about him in the lead up to the draft?
He was a big back that could bend and burst and explode. When you go back and watch film on him, one of the things that I'm intrigued by is just his ability to lower his pad level and still get yards out there. So you go back to the Jacksonville game, he caught a little pass, a little swing pass, and he was going up the sideline, and he was able to lower his pads and still get 3 extra yards. Those little things matter to me.
Is that something you've had to work on with Josh? Because he's taller than most running backs, so that pad level's got to be important.
Yeah, one of the things I look for when I'm scouting is, can a guy bend and burst? Those are one of the things that I'm big on as far as a running back, and with a guy who's 6'1" and a half or even taller. Of course, you would think, well, man, he's straight up and down. It's hard for him to get down, but not Josh. He's able to get down, like I just said. He's able to lower his pad level and match pad level, because that's important when you're a bigger back facing these DBs who come up and cut you every time. So you'll be short-lived if you're not able to get your pass down.
How's Sproles coming along?
Sproles is coming along good.
When he comes back, when Darren's good to go, how big of a role do you expect him to have?
We'll see. You just got to, coming off an injury, of course, you just got to make sure that, he's right. You want to put him in a situation where he can be successful. We know what he brings to the table. We know how hard he is to defend. So I want to make sure that he's right, and mentally I know he is because he's a tough cookie. Physically, I just want to make sure he's up to that, and he will be as soon as he's right. We'll put him out there.
How did you deal with Josh after the near fumble? Do you talk to him? Do you know that he's learned his lesson? How exactly from a coaching standpoint?
Yeah, being in that situation myself many times before, I always wanted my coaches and my team just to have my back. And the one way you do that is simply putting me back out there. So that's one of the things that I thought about as soon as he fumbled. You don't want to go grab him and shake him up, which I really wanted to, I thought about it, but you don't want to do that and bring attention to it. You want to kind of rub it off and tell them next play, because, you do it a lot with quarterbacks that throw an interception. You don't want them dwelling on it. It's the next play, because that play right there can affect the game if you continue to think about it. So that's one of the things that we talk about in our room. Bad plays are going to happen. It's all about how you respond.
Do you think do you see him having a significant role going down here in the second half of the season?
Who knows? We roll the dice with our running backs. I love it. I love it simply because it's a challenge within the room. These guys know that each and every week they got to step up, no matter if it's pass pro, no matter if it's catching screens, running the ball. It's a challenge, and they take it seriously. So it's good.
When you look at Josh early on, his role was sporadic, obviously, because he was a rookie and because of the depth he had in front of him. But out of necessity, his role has increased. At what point did you feel thoroughly comfortable with him in his overall game and how you wanted to utilize him?
Well, kind of when we let him go and he came back, had a long conversation with him, just talking with him about what we expect from him, and kind of got into the conditioning conversation. I always thought, you know, looking at him on film, he could play on this level. I like what he did at Notre Dame. You go back and you watch some of his runs. I mean, I don't know if he got caught from behind. He has deceptive speed. He can run. He kind of gallops a little bit. So remind me of another guy that used to play here, but I'm not going to say the names. But he runs like that, and had a chance to kind of go back and show him a little film of himself, and also talk about just what we expect, and just one day at a time, get out there, get the offense down so you can be able to play fast. And I think that's one of the things that was kind of holding him back early too. As a rookie, you don't really know what to expect from the coaches. You don't know what type of system they were in unless you know some coaches at Notre Dame. So you got to take all that and kind of think about all that as you're putting them out there and expect them to play fast. But he was able to have a good conversation. He was able to pick things up rapidly, and he's out there playing now.
Corey was so good in pass pro last year. He hasn't played quite as many snaps on third down this year. Why is that?
Corey's still good in pass pro. He's probably one of the best backs that we have. You know, early in the season, Corey had the injury, so bringing him back slowly, making sure, you know, he gets the chance to get out there. And it's all about a confidence builder when you have an injury like that. I've been in those shoes. You want to make sure that you're healthy. You want to make sure that you can go out there and play at a high level. So you look back last year when Sproles got hurt, Corey came right in, and he was our third down back. You know, it was no problems, and we just kept moving. So it's funny because Corey got hurt. Here comes Wendell. You know, it's almost like a little deja vu, if you want to say. But he came out there, and Wendell stepped up knowing that it was his opportunity, and he took full advantage of it. But Corey, we have full confidence in Corey. Corey is a playmaker, always will be in his offense, and I love what he brings to the table.
You were talking about Corey.
You want to flip a coin?
Mike Rose said yesterday that, you know, with Corey, you know, his yards are down this year, but he said he just thinks it's football. Maybe it's not a big enough sample size yet. Hasn't had the big breakout games. Is that the way you see it too?
Yeah, it's football. I mean, you notice what we do around here with our backs. We play all our backs, and we try to get them in the rotation, and we try to get them the ball. It's hard at times. It's hard at times, especially when you got a star like Corey, and I do see Corey as a star. That's one of the things as coaches, and I take full responsibility of getting them ball more, putting them in a position to get the ball. But once again, you know, when you got players like Corey, Wendell, Josh is coming along, Sproles is coming back. So, you know, I would love to cut that ball up a little bit, and with Carson throwing it, then you got Alshon, you got Ertz. Shall I continue, or you got it? But it's tough at times. But, you know, one thing about it, I think these guys are all on the same page. They saw this formula work last year, which was awesome, and we're able to do what we did. And, you know, we're just going to ride it out.
You mentioned the rotation. Sorry, Paul. You mentioned the rotation. How difficult is it when you do play multiple backs to not show tendencies? Do you have to, like last week, are you self-scouting, that kind of stuff?
Nah, I don't think there are many tendencies when you play multiple backs. I think that actually helps you when you play 2 to 3 backs, because now all 3 guys, they can do the same thing. I look at Sproles, of course, being that ace in the hole. He's a guy that you love to get on third down and get some matchups and see can you take advantage of that. I also look at Corey like that. You saw last year on third down, his ability to catch the ball and run after the catch. Saw in the Super Bowl how successful he was. So you look at those 2 guys, they can't really pinpoint, all right, Corey's the third down, he's going to be out there, or Sproles is the third down back, he's going to be out there. I think now you have to really game plan, and hopefully when you start talking opposing teams and blitz packages, that thought process affects it. So who knows?
The other day, you were talking about Corey the other day.
Rock, paper, scissors.
That's all right. He got the experience.
You had said, when we were talking to you a couple of weeks ago about Corey, you said, on this level, you need to understand that every day matters.
That's right.
What did you mean by that?
Just basically what I said. Every day
I
matters.
mean, that has to do with practice and understanding the importance of it.
Yeah. You want to answer it? Or you
No,
want
no.
I don't know.
I just wanna make
You
sure
asked
it's
the
on the
question
right
and you
track.
answered. You want me to hold the mic?
Sorry.
I was joking. And that goes for everybody. We were talking about Corey at the time.
Right.
And I was just basically speaking about coming out of college, understanding how to you kind of switch lives a little bit. I talk to these guys all the time about leaving college and say, you guys were babysitted. You know, you had a certain schedule, you had to go from class, you had to go from class to study hall, from study hall to the field. Well, what happens after 5 o'clock? No one's there to hold your hand. So, and that goes with dieting, that goes with just making sure you're in shape, that goes with watching film. I don't want to seem like I'm old, but I'm old now, but back in my day, we didn't have iPads. It was all beta. So you had to stay in here and watch film. Now they can go home and sit on their love seat or their massage chair and turn on the iPad. And I hope they're watching film, you know. But that's this day and time. You got to make sure that you reiterate some of those things and tell them how important it is, and hopefully they catch on. My guys have caught on.
We talked in the summer about some of your increased responsibilities as associate head coach. Has this year been different for you in that fashion? What about the differences?
It's been cool. It's been cool. One of the things that, as a coach, I think is important is you got to continue to learn, no matter what your title is, no matter if you're special teams coordinator, assistant, no matter if you're quality control, no matter if you're in my position as a running back coach, assistant head coach, you got to continue to learn and also keep that door open. So that's one of the things that I'm doing. Every day is a challenge, which I love. I love the game of chess. I told you guys many times before that I live vicariously through my players. And that's what's so motivating to me, to be able to see them go out there, to see them go to war, and to make sure they're on the same page as the offense, same page as a unit, and just being able to go out there and play freely and play fast. So when you put that product on the field Sunday, one of the best product out there, and that's a reflection of you. So I take pride in that, and every day I'm learning.
How is the week to week different for you this year versus last year?
The week to week is similar. One thing that we're doing is the developmental with the rookies, so I'm over that. Doug has given me responsibility over that, which has been cool. And what we're trying to do is just continue to develop our rookies and show that we care off the field. So we bring them in and we talk about certain things, talk about issues, we talk about maybe some of the things that I've been through that I can share with them. Once again, is continue to give them information that they may need.